Okay, so with this video, we're going to get like a little bit more into the develop module in Lightroom. Okay, so here I have just it's a gradient, and I just want to talk like a little bit more in depth about what some of these things do, because we will be kind of looking at them today. All right, so again, just like looking at this, like what do these things do? So exposure we should know. I think like last week I showed you exposure, contrast. We played a little bit around in here, and that was about it. Okay, so just to kind of get our feet wet. Today we'll look at texture, clarity, um, we'll look at sharpening. Okay, so here we go. Oh, the crop, we'll look at that too. Again, just to show you kind of exposure, I can make an image void of whites. I can make it brighter. Okay, so it makes the image lighter and darker. All right, contrast beefs up my pure blacks, so if I remove contrast, it becomes a very flat image. If I add contrast, it becomes a very contrasty image, okay? Also, let me just kind of move these. Reset. Okay, highlights deals with my white points, okay? So I can beef up my white, or I could take them all out. All right. Shadows. And my shadows, I can add more intensity to my shadows, to my blacks, and I can remove that intensity from there. Okay? Whites, I can pump up my pure whites, or I could remove anything from them. Okay? Kind of make them flatter. Just reset again. All right? And then blacks, I can pump up my pure blacks, or again, I could remove them. Okay? So it's just a little bit easier sometimes to see like, oh, what are those sliders doing? All right? So let's get into an image and come on. Let's get into my keepers. All right. So let's see. A couple things I want to talk about today in the develop mode. I want to do a little bit about color balance. So we're going to look at that. And then I want to look at texture and clarity. So let's look at, this is a good one here. So I'm going to go to develop mode. All right, and let me zoom out again. All right, so there we go. Okay, so with this image, I want to go through the sliders a little bit more, okay? So up here, starting up top, okay, this is like our little white balance area. This is the temperature. So I can make an image cooler or warmer. So super cool. It's like blue. Or I can use it and make an image warmer. Okay, where you're just like adding a lot of warm tones. Okay, let me reset that. The tint right here, okay, I can kind of change the color a little bit of the image. And that's something we don't want to do a lot. Okay, so I'm going to come back to that area here, this white balance area. But I just want to show you up here, this is an easy way to add warmth. Like, oh, I want to make an image like warm, okay, or make it cooler. All right, so I'm just going to hit reset again. So let's get back down into here, into exposure. We're going to kind of like work this image up just a little bit. Okay, just to kind of refresher what's going on in here. And at the end, we will sharpen it. Okay. So, like I showed you guys last week, in here, like if you're kind of not sure what to do, an easy thing to do is to set the image to just auto and then kind of backtrack it. All right. But basically, when I look at this image, it looks flat to me. Okay. It looks flat. And it also looks like it's not properly, like the color is kind of off. And why was that? I don't know. Did it, something happen in the exposure? Did the light change real quickly? Did the, there's a myriad of reasons. But when I say the color doesn't look right, I kind of mean like it looks kind of muddy in here. My whites don't look like really white. Okay, which is okay sometimes. But to me, this picture kind of immediately kind of harkens to like, color's a little weird. All right. So basically what I would do is beef up the exposure. All right. Kind of brighten it a little bit. Add some contrast. And it's already starting to look better. All right. And then when I get into here, let's see if I add a little shadow, darken them a little bit. And like that kind of starts to look good. But again, let's see what auto would do. A lot. It went like the opposite way. Okay, so let's look at it before and after. Before, after. Okay, and what I'm doing is hitting the backslash. Again, that's right above the enter. Before, after. It's pretty good. I wouldn't open up my shadows that much. I like it a little bit more punchier in the shadows. Whites. Beef the whites up, and then it like kind of darken the blacks. Okay, interesting. All right, well that's cool. And it looks like it also added a little vibrance and saturation. I'm gonna back those off because I don't want that. I'll leave it at like +2, +2. Okay, so one thing about like when you're working on your photographs, and let's see, I think it needs more contrast, honestly. I'm gonna make a little contrast here. Oop, I just kind of zeroed that out. Okay, so again, like when you're working on your images, feel free to hit that auto button. I like that button, honestly. Okay, having worked in Photoshop for like a bajillion years, and like it's just like the thing I love about Lightroom is it's so much easier than Photoshop. Okay, Photoshop has its place. I still spend countless hours in Photoshop, but with Lightroom and this kind of photography, and I mean like kind of like digital SLR, whatever, Lightroom's beautiful. Okay, so what I'd like to do, honestly, we kind of got our exposure kind of working. So when you're color balancing, whenever you're gonna like play around with the color balance, get your exposure first, okay? Get like get your settings right in here. You do that first, and then you can kind of come up and play around. So what I'm gonna do is I'm looking at this door, and I still don't like how the door looks. Okay, so I'm going to click on this little like white balance selector, and you want to pick something that like is either white or should be gray. So I'm going to click on that, and there it kind of made an adjustment. Okay, so let me see before and after. That looks pretty good. Okay, so it moved the tint, and it just kind of like moved our white balance this way, meaning this way, sorry. So that's pretty cool. It kind of just warmed it up a little bit. All right, I think I went the wrong way. Just kind of warmed it up. All right, so that looks a lot nicer to me. Okay, that looks like it has like a little bit more pop going on, which looks cool. Okay, so feel free, if you're thinking like color just doesn't kind of look right, you're gonna grab this little selector, and let's see, we can, if you click on the wrong thing, you'll see it shift like real crazy, because that's not neutral, right? It says pick a neutral target. So I clicked on the red of the door. That's like kind of looks like how it started off. Well, not that bad. So I'm going to pick this again. Pick the white, pick a neutral. Okay, and neutral, honestly, is those little numbers, the RGB. If those are all close to like the same, so here I'm like 83, 91, 98. If those are all like 90, 90, 90, or they're all the same, that's neutral. So that's pretty close. I could try the cardboard. That's even closer. I'm going to click there. But I don't like that. That looks weird to me. I'm going to click here. Oh, damn it. Kind of jumped a little bit. All right. So that's good over here. Okay. That looks nice to me. Okay. That looks like it's, I don't know, there's just kind of a warmth to it. And you know, here, again, I might kind of add a little more contrast. I don't know why. I just want this like snappy. Okay. So that looks cool to me. All right. Next video, I'm just going to show you how to crop it because I think it's like off a little bit. I'm going to show you how you can kind of mess with that too.